Okay, now we're going to be talking about managing your customers. When you log into the admin, you can manage your customers from the dashboard by clicking on the customers link right here. And that will bring you to your customers list. Now let me go over what is on this list. We have, for each customer, you can see their status, the type of customer they are, you can see their name, their email address, the date they registered, and how many orders they have, as well as the ability to edit the customer and delete the customer. Let's go over what each of these things is for. Okay, the status. Right now you can see these are all check marks. That means that all these customers are active. Now, if for some reason you ever need to deactivate a customer, perhaps they were being rude to you for some reason, and you're saying, I'm not going to service this customer anymore for whatever reason, you can find that customer. And this guy, Jack Sparrow, he came in and just was being really unruly, so we're not going to let him be a customer anymore. You would click on the check mark and it changes it to an X, and after you're done making those changes, you can click save, and then Jack Sparrow won't be able to log into his account on your store anymore. Okay, this next column is type. Now that means type of customer. Customers can either be registered customers, which means they can log into their account to view their orders and etc., or they can be unregistered. A registered customer will be a person, an unregistered customer will be a ghost. Then you can see the customer's name, and if you click on the customer's name or the edit icon over here, it allows you to edit that customer's information. Then you can see their email address, the date they registered, and how many orders they have. Now, say you're trying to find a specific customer, you know they're in this list somewhere, and you know if you just sort it alphabetically, you'd be able to find them. You can use these arrows at the top of the column to sort the column. So we're going to click on that arrow right now, and now it's sorted descending if the arrow is pointing down, or ascending if the arrow is pointing up. And you can do that with any of these columns that have the arrows on them. So now let's actually edit a customer. We're going to edit Barry Allen. He's called in and he wants some changes made to his account, but since he's unregistered, he can't log into his account himself. So we're going to edit it for him. Now there's 3 tabs that show up on editing a customer. We have General, Addresses, and Customer Groups. On the General tab, you have their name, their basic contact details like their email and phone number, and their password. So you can change any of that information. Now for a password down here, you can change the customer's password if for some reason they can't figure out how to change it themselves. Maybe they've lost access to their email account. So you can enter a new password for them and send it to them to help them out. Then we have the Addresses tab. To edit any address that's in their customer's address book. They can have 1 address, they may have 10, depending on how they purchased items and that kind of thing. Now, there will always be at least 1 address that's set as the default billing address and at least 1 address that's set as the default delivery address. They might be the same address, they might not. Now, sometimes they might want to ship to a different address than their billing address. They might have several different delivery addresses in there. So to edit any of these addresses, you can click on the edit link over here. And that will let you edit any of that address information. And down here at the very bottom of this editing address, you can see where you can set the default billing address by clicking the check mark, or the default shipping address by changing this to a check mark. So you make whatever changes you're wanting to make and click save. So let's go back here. Now the one other thing that you may wish to do as an administrator is to assign a customer to a customer group. So let's go back to the customers and we'll explain what that is first so you know why you'd want to change someone. A customer group is useful if you say you're wanting to sell some of your items wholesale, but only to certain customers. You can create a wholesale group and put those customers you're willing to sell wholesale to into that customer group. And then you can enter wholesale prices for your products for those customers who are in the wholesale group. So here's how you create customer groups. Now right now we have 2 different customer groups already. We have gold members and we have wholesale customers. You can create a new group. Down here in the Create Customer Group section, you just type the name, and then you can type any description you want. This is just for your reference. And then you click Save. And that will add it to the available groups here. Now, you have to have the groups created in order to add a customer to a customer group. So we're going to go back to the customers, and we want to add Barry Allen to one of those preferred customer groups. So we're going to go to the customer, click on Customer Groups. Now, right now you can see he's not in any particular group because this group memberships area is empty. So to add him to a customer group, we're going to add him to the wholesale group by selecting it and clicking the plus button, and that adds his group membership to the wholesale group up here. After you finish adding him to whatever groups you want him to be in, you click the Save button. If you don't hit Save, he won't be added to that wholesale group. And then once he's added, he will be able to see the wholesale prices when he's logged into the account. His account. One other handy feature of this customer list is you can look up a customer and find all that customer's orders very easily. Like right now we can see Bruce Wayne, he has 4 orders here. We can see all of Bruce Wayne's orders and just his orders by clicking the number. And that brings up just Bruce Wayne's orders. And this works just like the orders section, which is described in another video. And that's the quick summary of the main part of the customers area. Now, say you would like to add a customer on your own, like they are not somebody that's registered or used the site themselves, but you want to add them into the system. You can do that also, and it works very similarly to editing a customer. You would click on this Add Customer tab up here, and it looks just like the Edit Customer screen, only all the fields are blank. So you can just enter their customer information here. And then you can go to the Address tab and you can add their addresses. You would click the Add New Address. It brings up this window to add an address for them. Once you've finished adding the address, you can choose if it's a default billing and shipping address. You'd click Add. It would add their addresses in here. And you can set their customer groups just like on that edit screen that we just went over. Once you're done adding all that information, then you can click the Save button and it will add them to your list of customers. And finally, if you're trying to find a customer, when you have lots and lots of customers and one of them wants help with something, but you can't seem to find them in the list, you can actually search for them by clicking the Search Customers tab, which opens this little tab over here on the right. And that tab is always available in the admin. You can see it just pops open and closed. And you know this customer's name is Jetson. So we're going to look up Mr. Jetson. And as you type, the search suggest brings up George Jetson. So we can go and find him in here. And there's George Jetson, and you can edit his information. And that's it for our customers area.